What's up everyone, we have the Hatsune Miku, Sakura Miku Fantastics Series from Blokees. This is their second Hatsune Miku in their lineup. Let's check it out. I haven't opened anything yet, so the thing is this will be a first reaction to everything that's going on inside. Cherry hat clips, she also has a picnic basket with plates. Danko over here, she's a little birdie, camera, picnic basket, and obviously, interchangeable hands and face plates. So let's see what this is like on the inside. And yes, just like the first one, everything comes out like this. Couple pages over here, quite similar to the previous Miku. Honestly, the assembly should be the same. Nice little bit of key art over here. Moving on. Action base over here. And a whole bunch of other stuff. Accessory bits. This A1 sprue over here is for 2 smartphones. So a little grass patch and base for the tree over here. And the tree comes in its own plastic case right here. This thing has a bit of weight to it, and it's nice and it feels substantial. So similar to the last Hatsune Miku, everything is here already. It's not like your typical Blokees type thing where everything comes in sprues. This is basically, essentially kind of like an action figure with extra steps, and there are a couple things for you to fit in. There are joints inside those bags as well. There are 3 default faces, and then there are 3 blank faces for you to do water transfers and everything. So if you're into that, you can do that as well. But yes, that's pretty much it for the box. Let's get to building. The building process is very easy and intuitive. The only part that gets me a little confused, kind of similar to the first Miku as well, is when it comes to the shoulders. There are these little ring bits that you need to put in the correct orientation, so just make sure you get those right. Other than that, it's an enjoyable build. And before we get into the comparisons between the first and second Mikus in the Fantastics collection, here is a message from our friends at Secretlab. At Geek Culture, Secretlab is our everyday ergonomic buddy. Whether we're making videos, writing up a storm, or gaming for hours on end, we are comfortably seated and feel right at home without the aches and pains. Secretlab provides ergonomic support from head to toe, with a dynamic lumbar support system that adapts to your movements, along with a proprietary medium foam cushioning that optimizes pressure distribution. They even have accessories like the ergonomic recliner add-on to keep your legs elevated and well rested at any angle you like. For more information, check out secretlab.co. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the build. Not too many frills, nothing too hard to push in, except for maybe the push pits when it comes to the neck and the abdomen over here. But other than that, very easy to build, and honestly, you will feel super satisfied once this entire thing comes together. Alright, so let's talk about Miku real quick. Obviously, like the first one as well, there is soft fabric clothing, which, it is pretty soft because they use a PVC-like material, and they use a finely polished PVC material for the skin over here, so it's quite lifelike. Altogether, this is still a very, very nicely done figurine over here. Her pigtails do shift around, and you can pose them however you like, to follow the wind or whatever. Her skirt is pretty soft, kind of like the leather that people use at raves that I've seen. And yeah, this whole thing is still, just a great piece. Very similar to the previous one as well. They're probably using the same molds and all that with different colors and designs, but for the most part, this is still a great addition to the lineup. There's quite a few accessories. The number of hands and faces over here, about the same as the first Miku box that we got. And of course, the little bits on here in case you break things for, either the abdomen, and after that, obviously the hands over here, so you have a second shot at life when it comes to these things over here. But what's more important is the accessories at the back: camera, phones, the onigiri, the sandwich, the dangos, the plates, and of course the picnic basket. And not forgetting this beautiful tree over here with all the cherry blossoms outside. This, still, for its price, there is a lot of value when it comes to this. And not forgetting the bird on Miku's hand, that is an accessory within itself. So with this many accessories, there is a ton of room for posing. So she poses quite nicely on the tree. Obviously it takes a bit of weight management with the pigtails and all that stuff to get her to really sit in nice and proper. And you may have to lean her head at the top over here just a little bit, but you know what, everything kind of flows. It's a nice piece on its own. You don't really have to change out much. Alright, so I'm going to try out this pose over here. One of her hands actually holds the onigiri, and there we go. This is stellar work again, Blokees. Really good stuff. Again, there is a lot of customizability and possibility with most of the figures, if not all the figures. Phenomenal figure with a ton of accessories. Let's do a quick comparison with the previous Miku. Right, so we have both Hatsune Mikus over here, the second and the first in the series. And the first in the series comes packed with, pretty large accessories, given the microphone stand, her guitar, and her keyboard over here. And with the Sakura Mini, what she lacks in size, she makes up for in quantity. There's quite a few. They both really built the same way. There really isn't much to complain about. They both have the same PVC polished skin, so it's really nice and lifelike. and their clothes down to the skirts, obviously, these are nice and soft and really great to put together. And as a whole piece, both of them are great for your collections. Depending on which way you swing, would you like, bigger accessories like the first one, or would you like smaller but more accessories like the Sakura Miku over here? There is something for everyone, but obviously the correct answer is to get both of them for your collection. Alright, so final thoughts on Sakura Miku. She is a great action figure or model, depending on what you want to call it, from Blokees. They have done it again. Great quality and accessories. The entire build was honestly very intuitive and straightforward. The best part of this entire kit is still this little tree base over here and the Sakura flowers. It is one of the best bases I've seen for an action figure, especially at its price point. So there is so much value that will come out of this Sakura Miku box. I highly recommend you to get this even if you're not a fan of Hatsune Miku, because this is what a great kit should look and feel like. And again, Blokees has done a terrific job with this second iteration of Hatsune Miku. Would you get Sakura Miku for your collection? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like what we do, make sure to follow us on all of our socials right here. We post up stuff daily, so keep up with us over there. And if you like what we do on this channel, maybe leave a like, comment, and subscribe to us. It goes a long way in keeping the lights on here. This has been Zin. If you want to see more stuff, check this out.